Now, while the arguments for and against high-speed rail are raging here, on the continent they've been and gone. Most of Western Europe is already crisscrossed by a network of high-speed railways. Frankfurt in Germany is slightly smaller than Birmingham, but benefits from a host of fast and frequent links with other key destinations. It's one of the continent's best connected and most prosperous cities. Our reporter Giles Latcham paid a visit to see what we could learn from the German experience.
Bright, bustling, deal-making Frankfurt, for centuries Germany's financial centre. But it's also the hub of its transport network. From here, by train, you can head far and wide to Paris in less than 4 hours and Brussels just over 3. This is high-speed rail.
They've been doing high-speed trains in Germany for 20 years. This one to Cologne from Frankfurt's been running for 10 years and it's proved popular with passengers. We thought we'd try it for ourselves.
If you book in advance, it costs about £25, cheaper than flying, and journey times are comparable.
The plane will take, all in all, almost the same time. It's more expensive, and with the train, I'm very flexible. That's the best.
It's more comfortable. You can sit down and enjoy your trip. Takes a couple hours, much faster than traveling by car.
Not everyone wanted this railway. There were protests and it went to the courts. But in the end, the economic case won the day. Kirsten runs the Frankfurt office of a law firm based in Cologne and uses the train regularly. She thinks a high-speed link between London and Birmingham would bring prosperity.
I would think, yes, that as an alternative to London and the very dense environment there, that people would move their business to Birmingham.
The top speed's 200 miles per hour. That's along a route 110 miles long. The average journey time, 70 minutes.
And it's really rather smooth.
I think plans and idea there's a lot.
The man charged with bringing investment into Frankfurt says high-speed rail has benefited smaller towns along its route.
They are very well developed. A lot of people decided to stay there, to live there, because the prices for houses and ground are much cheaper than in the Rhine-Main area.
By high-speed train, Birmingham to Frankfurt might take 6 hours. But in Germany, they think we're in danger of missing out because our existing track isn't wide enough.
You need to have the wider gauge to accept continental-style trains. And if you want to have trains from Paris and Brussels coming up to Birmingham and Manchester, you really need to do that.
Well, here we are in Cologne. If you want some proof, there's the rather magnificent cathedral. That's a journey used to take over 2 hours. We've done it in 1 hour, 4 minutes. Still lunchtime. Time to make that meeting. Time to head for the shops.
Established and accepted, high speed here is part of the landscape, not an expensive option on a distant horizon. Giles Latcham, BBC Midlands Today, Frankfurt.
Well, with me now is our transport correspondent, Peter Blisner. Hi, Peter. Amongst the many things we talk about, I've heard figures of £300 for a ticket for this train, if we ever get it, and that's a big if. That's ridiculous, £300.
I'll be surprised if you see tickets that expensive, although first-class tickets get more expensive every year. But let's look at examples across Europe. Where Giles has been in Germany, we're told that fares are broadly the same, although there are more first-class seats, so on average people are paying more. In France, TGV costs slightly more, and it's replaced conventional rail services. In the UK, the only examples in Kent, Ashford to London. If you go by conventional rail, you'll pay £25. It'll take 1 hour and 20. If you go by high speed, it's around £30, but it's only 39 minutes. So there's a premium there of about 20%.
OK, Peter, and briefly, what about time scale now? Because there are so many processes, presumably, to go through before anything happens. What actually happens now?
Well, the next big thing is the public consultation, likely to start next week. That'll last around 6 months, but we won't get the results of that probably until late this year, early the following year. We're likely to have a public inquiry, which could take some time, but certainly if it all gets the go-ahead, we're talking about construction starting around 2017.
Peter, thanks very much indeed. If you want to find out more about HS2 and how it could affect you, then you can follow the links from our BBC Coventry and Warwickshire website. Right, it's back to Suzanne. I'll be here again later. See you in a moment. Suzanne.
Thanks very much, Nick.